was put in 1910, and when it got almost all the way filled, so to speak, meaning that it was holding back all the water, when it reached a certain point and then it exploded and it fell apart. And the elders talk about it, and it's been passed down from when they were here, how everyone tried to run up the hill because of the wall of water that was coming down. And everyone was running for their lives to get out of the way of the water that was coming down. And then what happened is they turned around and they took concrete and logs and other kinds of debris, and they filled the hole in. And then they piled concrete on top of that.
My name is Elwha, and my white name is Beatrice Charles. My maiden name was Beatrice Sampson. And the dam broke in 1912, and the people that lived by the river weren't notified, but the other, white settlers were notified. And my dad came home from work, and they had a porch outside where they had buckets lined, and then they had basins, maybe about 3 or 4 basins there where they used to, wash their hands and face before they ate. And my dad was outside, and he heard that roaring sound, and he was breaking, and so he told his family, his mom, get the children and run to the side of the bank of the, the railroad tracks, because there was a railroad that went around the edge of the bluff where they were living. And they just made it to the banks, and the river came down. All that derbs and all that stuff.
So if you didn't hear that, then they would have been gone.
They wouldn't have made it if he didn't come home just at that right time. My great-grandfather, Joe Sampson, who lived up the river, Robert Sampson was their son, and he just pulled the posts out and, flopped the fences down so his parents and his brothers could get to the side of the hill. He was real strong. He just pulled the post right out of the ground and threw it down and told them to get over and get on the hillside. And so that's how they were saved.
Wow. That's crazy. So then they had to find new places to live.
Yeah.
How did your ancestors feel about the dam being put in?
They didn't like it. They knew it was going to be, as a result of the dams being there, they knew that their salmon wouldn't be as plentiful, because they knew that they had to go up and spawn. And it was the spawning grounds up the river was getting ruined on account of the dams. And they knew that. They saw it. And so they felt, more or less, betrayed by that dam being up there. And besides, when they brought the dam, got the dams up there, the places that they went for spiritual, help and things like that, the water covered it. It was covered over by the water where they used to go and seek their spiritual needs.
Do you think that when the dams are removed that those places will come up?
They'll come up. They'll see them. Yeah. There was a place up there where it was just like a a hole or a basket like in one of the big rocks, and it was a hole where they used to reach down in and pull whatever came up that told them what kind of person they were going to be when, you know, when they got older and grew up or whatever. Some became fishermen, some became great hunters. It was depended on what they pulled up. And that is covered, and that was a sacred place. So the dams not only diminished the salmon runs, but it took away the sacred places where the Clallams went.
Well, it's devastated the whole ecosystem of the Elwha watershed, from the headwaters on down. A lot of species, given that there was so many fishery stocks that came into the Elwha, all times of the year, so nutrients were highly abundant in the watershed at all times. And bears and all kinds of animals in the ecosystem depended on those nutrients being there. They're no longer there, and so they've had to go to other areas to find a way to keep surviving. They aren't thriving. They're still in the watershed, but they're not thriving like they used to. And that's part of what our pursuit is to repair and try to heal some of the damage that's been done for all these decades and to bring the fish back. We had 2 villages on the watershed, and one was on the upper part of the watershed and one was in the mouth area. And the reason for that is because the watershed was so abundant in terms of fishery stocks and wildlife and game. No, it was a beautiful watershed that had everything the people needed to survive.
Now it's just...
Only the lower first 4.5 miles can be used by fishery stocks.
My name is Robert Ellefson, and I'm the Elwha River Restoration Project Coordinator for the Lower Elwha Clallam Tribe, and I'm a Lower Elwha Clallam tribal member. I was fisheries manager for the Lower Elwha Tribe from 1976 to 1978, and then in 1979 I started commercial fishing. I did that until 1991. The immediate effects will be fish passage upstream, sediment transport downstream, should reestablish the estuary and the beaches here on the reservation. The reservoirs behind the dams raise the temperature of the streams. So during low flows in the summer, we've had disease problems with some of the fish runs in the river. And some of the environmental groups challenged the relicensing of the dam in, I believe, 1976. And as that case was proceeding through court and the discussions came up, we were trying to make them mitigate the impacts of the dams. And part of that was creating fish passages around the dams. And the expenses were so great for the fish passage that people began to realize that the electricity that the dams produce would cost more than just buying the electricity directly from Bonneville Power. So, led up to the legislation in 1992 where the United States government purchases the dams, and then a report was done that its conclusion was that the only way to fully restore the Elwha River was to remove the dams. The dam removal will take from 2 to 3 years. So you're looking at, what is this year, 2004, construction will be starting this year and running through at least 2008, maybe 2009.
And they put the Klallam words into these songs for us to sing, and they told us to be proud and to sing it every time. And so, with all 3 of our Klallam bands together tonight, we're very proud to share with you the Klallam love song.
This is what I wrote one day when I was riding in the car, and it had something to do with that picture, because I don't know, it just came to my mind, and about the Elwha River and everything else like that. And this is what my heart hurts as I stand here with my grandnephew and look at the river, a river that gave us life abundantly, the salmon. This was our lifeline given to us by our great Creator. This river had many species of salmon, so many that the river was alive with salmon that we never ever wanted for food. Salmon was our Clallam people's way of life, given to us by our Creator, so that we would never go hungry. Now as I stand here and look at the river, I am sad for me and our people, our children, our great-grandchildren, and our generations that are coming after us. They never saw what I had seen, the salmon, so many that I never ever thought it would be gone. I pray to our great Creator, please restore our great river, put it back to where our Creator had it, and our salmon will return as abundantly as I once saw it. Restore our great Elwha River so that our salmon will be restored. I may not be standing by this river when that happens, but our strong people, the Clallams, the lower Elwha Clallams, will be here to see it. Heal our great majestic river, the Elwha River, so that our way of life, our great salmon, will swim into our rivers and be plentiful once again. That's what I wrote. And so that's the way I feel. feel very greatly about our river. And the damage that has been done can be undone when those dams are removed. Now I thank you.